My girlfriend likes me to go by different names during intimacy. My girlfriend and I have been together for 1 year, and for the past 6 months we've taken a mini vacation at least once a month. In the past 4 months we've gone on 5 mini vacations, and every time she wanted me to go by a different name. It's always been the same name, Matt Gok. I figured this was just a fantasy name and went along with it. She's done things with Matt Gok that she's never done with me, Jason. Matt took her butt stuff V card. Matt was the first person she has ever put whipped cream on herself for and let him lick it off. If I bring it up to her that I, Jason, want to try those things with her, she says she's not that type of girl. With Matt, she is down for literally everything you could imagine. She's pretty vanilla when we are at home and when I go by Jason, which I won't complain about. I never needed to have straps or whips, but now that I know it's an option I feel like I'm missing out. Here's the kicker, I had to pick her up from work a few days ago and walked into her office to look for her. This was the first time I had been to her office. I spoke to the secretary to ask where she was and started on my way there. As we were leaving, her coworkers came to introduce themselves to me. From down the hall I see this guy coming towards all of us, and he says something along the lines of, "Hi, I'm Matt Gok, SVP of Marketing." After we finished talking to everyone we went to the car. I waited for her to say something, but she never did. I don't know what to say to her or if there is anything to say. I feel really uncomfortable, and I see our mini vacations in a completely different light now. Is this something I should be worried about, or is it normal? My girlfriend likes me to go by different names during intimacy. I came to the unfathomable conclusion that there is a chance she is cheating, and that made me so sick I literally puked. I called my boss to ask for Friday off for personal reasons. I spent the day driving around, looking for potential apartments. We don't live together, but I wanted to make sure if things went bad and she entered a bipolar breakdown and tried to find me, she'd have a harder time. This brings us to Saturday, the day I promised myself I would say something. I invited her over for breakfast but instantly regretted it because I was getting so nervous that I completely lost my appetite. She walked in the door and she instantly knew something was different. I was hoping to ease into it, but I ended up blurting out, "I met Matt Gok." She tried to act casual about it, but I could tell she didn't expect me to know about him. For the next 3 or so minutes things were calm. I talked about how I see the past 4 months completely differently. She started full on ugly crying and said she was sorry. I told her I'm going to work on forgiving her, because if I don't I think it will eat me up inside. I won't forget what happened, but I'll at least try to move on. She started to talk about how she'll work on building my trust again. I interrupted her by saying that isn't necessary, as we were no longer together. If I wasn't so emotionally crushed, I would have been amazed at the transition. She started begging me to give her another chance. I stood up and went to my room to grab a few boxes of all the gifts she gave me. I told her that I had already made up my mind to break up with her. After some back and forth, she realized that I was serious. I knew the exact moment she knew I was serious because she went from crying to yelling. It started off with insults, insulting my family and even my deceased little brother, but when that didn't work she tried throwing the truth in my face to hurt me. It started off that I was fat, ugly, lazy, stupid, and I had a useless job. In the middle of her tirade, she said Matt's pee-pee was way bigger than mine too. As she was yelling at me, she ended up saying what happened between the two of them. She started sleeping with Matt 3 years ago. They were on some sort of work trip and ended up sleeping together. From there it went from once in a while to once a week. Matt called things off 4 months ago because he met a girl. She was using the vacations because she missed being with Matt. I don't really remember the rest of Saturday, but do remember spending the night in the hospital due to a stab wound my now ex inflicted on me.